Good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. I'm Paul Clark and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to have a go at this, here, landscape. It's a project that I've done with my students and they've all loved it because they've all said in unison, great, not too much drawing. I don't know. So let's get going. It's also a project which I've done in my book, Step by Step, which is available online or from all good bookshops. Also, please don't forget to subscribe down there for all the latest tips and tutorials. It's free. And if there's any particular topics that you'd like to paint, please leave in the comments below and we'll have a go. So let's get started. Before we start, I'd just like to talk to you about the rule of thirds. It's not really a rule, as we know there shouldn't be any rules in art, so it's more of a guideline. What is generally accepted in landscape painting is not to put your horizon line directly in the middle, so we split our picture into thirds for a more pleasing and balanced composition. Here in this painting of mine, oh right then it's a Monet, but you can see here 2/3 is land and sea and 1/3 is sky. And in this one, he's done the opposite, with the foreground taking the bottom third. And this principle you'll see in galleries all over the world. Okay, to start with, nice simple drawing on some Arches rough 300-pound watercolour paper, and of course my 3 brushes, a large mop, a 3/4 inch flat, and my number 12 round. I'm going to be using my normal 3 colours today, my cobalt blue, alizarin crimson and cadmium yellow, with the addition of some Payne's grey. Off we go. With my mop, totally wet the sky area with clean water. In with a warm yellow mix from cad yellow and a touch of alizarin. For ease, I'll just refer to my 3 primaries as red, yellow and blue from now on. I'm dropping in some warm blues here just by adding a touch of red into the blue. Now for the drama, some fairly thick Payne's grey for the moody clouds. All this sky area is painted in wet and wet, so we can't let it dry. To make sure I keep that bright white in the centre for the sun, I'm dabbing out with a piece of kitchen roll. Now I'm just tilting my board slightly to let the paint move across the sky. Just a little more dab of orange here and there. Now the sky is still wet, so I'll just leave it alone and then just bring in some reflecting sky colours into the river here. Dab out again with a piece of tissue that sense of light directly below. Next, dry it off. You can use a hairdryer, but let it dry naturally first, as you don't want to stop the movement of your washes. For the hills, just a 50-50 mix of red and blue. Mixing colours is very important to me. I have a separate video on the subject, link below in the description. A little bit of orange just added in here and there. So to create a fuzzy edge in the middle here, I'm just dropping in some clean water along the top edge. In with a good strong Payne's grey, and I'm trying to keep the centre area fairly light. For this yellow ochre colour, I've mixed approximately 80% yellow, 15% red and about 5% blue, then dropped in some darker tones, including a little touch of Payne's grey. As you can see, the bottom of the hills are still wet, so I've intentionally touched a few areas with my yellow ochre and let the colour bleed into it. Gives a great shadowy effect. Some more Payne's grey here and there along the riverbanks. So I want to darken the nearer hills to help get a sense of distance, making sure I soften the edges with clean water. Payne's grey again for some tree detail. Now I'm just giving it all a quick spray just to soften a few of the edges. To avoid getting paint everywhere, I'm laying down some kitchen roll and splatting in some random texture here in the foreground. Now let it totally dry. Okay, so now re-wet with clean water the river and drop in corresponding colour directly below to create some reflections. Now tilt your board to let the paint run down vertically. Add a little more dark in if needed. When it's totally dry, paint in some horizontal ripples in the water. Don't overwork these and make sure you keep the areas directly below the sun white. Just a few more dark details here and there. Again, don't overwork it. What I want to do now is soften some of these hard edges, so with a slightly damp tissue I rub away and create this lovely soft texture. Just think I need to add a little bit more warm tone in the water here. Finally, I want to create just some sparkle in the water, and I can do this just with a cheap scalpel and scratch away at the paper surface. All decent watercolour paper can take quite a battering. I think we're just about done. Be careful when you peel up your masking tape, you don't want to rip your picture. Well, I really hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. So take care everyone. Bye for now.